3 in the afternoon. You are on the floor. Your 4-month-old is beside you. And then, without warning, you feel it. That pull. You turn your head. They are already watching you, not towards you, at you, a direct line, an unblinking line. The kind of look that has no name in any language you speak. Not joy, not hunger. Something colder, something that feels like it is reading you. 1 second passes, then 2, and then you are the one who looks away first. This happens in homes everywhere, every single day. And every single time, it gets dismissed. Babies stare. That is just what they do. But for the last 30 years, developmental neuroscience has been quietly building a different file. A file almost nobody opens. Because your baby's gaze is not an accident. It is not static. It is not just sweetness. Every time your baby looks at you in one of 5 specific ways, a different system inside their skull activates. Gathering data. Running models. Filing conclusions about safety, about connection, about whether the people they depend on can be trusted. Conclusions that will sit in the architecture of their mind for decades. From the outside, the 5 gazes look almost identical. On the inside, they are 5 completely different operations. And once you see what each one is really doing, you will never look at your baby the same way again. The first gaze is the easiest one to miss, because it does not look like anything at all. Your newborn is days old, lying on their back, eyes open, fixed on the ceiling, or the air past your shoulder, or nothing you can identify. You lean in, their eyes drift away. You move, they drift again. It feels like they are looking straight through you. Most parents assume there is nothing happening behind that stare. And on the surface, that seems correct. A newborn's eyes can only resolve anything beyond 8 to 12 inches as a blur. Clean, sharp vision has not arrived yet. But in 2017, researchers at University College London ran a different kind of test. They tracked 43 newborns through their first 72 hours of life. And what they found inside that blur was not nothing. It was a system already running. The infants were scanning, methodically, sweeping across high-contrast edges, light sources, moving shapes, building a low-resolution map of the world, frame by frame, before they could even see it clearly. The visual cortex was active, fully active. It simply had no clean image to work with yet. Then came the second finding, the one that should unsettle you. Even inside that blur, the newborn spent measurably longer looking toward one specific shape, their primary caregiver's face, not because they could see it. They could not, but because something underneath vision, heartbeat, scent, the cadence of a voice had already flagged that shape as priority 1. The map was being built, and you were already at the center of it, before the eyes could even confirm you were real. That drifting newborn stare is not the absence of recognition. It is recognition that arrived before sight. And if a brain can mark you as essential before it can even see your face, what happens once it can? The second gaze arrives somewhere between 6 and 10 weeks. And when it does, it stops people mid-sentence. This is the one where your baby finds your eyes. And hold them. Not a glance, a lock. You smile. They do not smile back right away. They just keep looking, steady, direct, until it stops feeling like a baby looking at a face and starts feeling like something is being assessed. Most parents call this affection, and it is. But underneath the warmth, something far more calculated is taking place. In 2019, a team at the University of Washington ran portable brain imaging on 62 infants between 6 and 14 weeks old during ordinary face-to-face contact with a caregiver. They were not measuring whether the babies liked what they saw. They were measuring whether the babies could predict it. By 14 weeks, the data showed something extraordinary. These infants were tracking the micro-signals that arrive before an emotion does. The faint tightening near the eyes, a fraction of a second before a smile forms. The smallest shift in the brow, just before concern surfaces. The precise movement of a mouth in the half-second before a tone of voice changes. The baby was not reacting to your face. The baby was decoding it. In advance, your face is the first text your child ever learns to read. No alphabet, No instructions. Just repetition and a brain working harder than almost any brain will ever work again, in total silence, through a single unbroken stare. And once that decryption system is online, it does not stay focused only on your expressions. It starts watching something deeper, something you cannot hide nearly as easily. The third gaze is the one that unsettles researchers the most, because this is not the gaze your baby gives you when they need something, and it is not the gaze they give you when everything is fine. This is the gaze that appears when something is wrong with you. You walk through the door after a hard conversation, or a long day that drained something out of you, or an argument that technically ended but never really did. You pick up your baby, and the look they give you is different, quieter, stiller, less curious, more watchful. Like they are waiting for something. In 2016, Harvard Center on the Developing Child brought 40 infants, aged 2 to 5 months, into a lab with their caregivers. The caregivers were not told their emotional state was being tracked. They were simply told to interact normally. Researchers measured cortisol, the body's stress signature, before, during, and after. And in the sessions where a caregiver was carrying stress, even stress they were successfully hiding, the infant's cortisol levels rose measurably within 3 minutes, before any crying, before any fussing, before a single outward sign. And during that window, the baby's gaze changed in a way researchers could document. Slower eye movement, reduced blinking, a locked, concentrated focus on the center of the caregiver's face. Your baby is not worrying the way you worry. They do not have the machinery for that yet, but somewhere underneath thought, a question is running on a loop, not a sentence. A signal. Is the person holding me safe right now? And they are pulling the answer directly off your skin, your breath, your muscles. Reading frequencies most adults stopped listening to a long time ago, which raises an uncomfortable question. If your baby is monitoring you this closely when you are right there in front of them, what happens the moment you are not? The fourth gaze is the one that happens while you are looking somewhere else, which is exactly why it matters. Your baby is on the floor, a toy, the room. Something has their attention. They are not crying, not reaching for you. And then, mid-task, their eyes flick up to your face. 1 second, maybe 2, then back down. It is so brief, so routine, that most parents never register it happened at all. But in 2020, the Max Planck Institute for Human Cognitive and Brain Sciences put EEG sensors on 91 infants aged 7 to 12 months during extended free play, and they tracked every single one of these brief upward glances, mapped them against what the infant's brain was doing in the seconds before and after. The pattern held across every child. Each glance triggered activity in the regions of the brain responsible for emotional regulation, the systems that decide whether to stay calm or brace. When the caregiver's face in that moment was relaxed, present, the stress signals in the baby's brain dropped fast. When the caregiver's face was tense, distracted, somewhere else, even while the body stayed in the room, the stress signals did not drop, they held. This is what psychologists call social referencing. Your baby is using your face as an instrument, a gauge. Is it still safe out here? And the answer, written hundreds of times a day across the entire first year, does not stay as a memory. It becomes a setting, a baseline, the emotional range your child will operate inside of for years, possibly for life. Written, not in conversations, written in glances. The ones you never knew were being logged. But there is one gaze left, and it does not check. It does not calibrate. It arrives only after something has gone wrong and been made right again. The fifth gaze is the quiet one. It comes last. After the hard part, your baby has been crying. Not fussing, crying. The real kind. And slowly through holding, through feeding, through the specific sound of your voice doing the thing it does, it stops. The room settles, and your baby looks up at you. This gaze carries none of the weight of the others. It is not studying. It is not checking. It is not bracing for anything. It is the look of a system that has just completed something critical and needs one quiet moment to confirm that it worked. In 2018, Heidelberg University Medical Center in Germany tracked 63 infants through what researchers called a stress recovery cycle, a controlled period of mild distress followed by comfort. And they measure brain activity across the entire arc, from the first sign of distress to the moment of calm. The highest reading of the entire study did not happen during the distress, and it did not happen at the moment of comfort either. It happened after, in the quiet. During this exact gaze, oxytocin-related brain activity spiked higher here than during feeding, higher than during play, higher than at any other point researchers measured. The team had a name for what they were witnessing. They called it the moment attachment is actively under construction, not finished, under construction, rebuilt piece by piece, every single time it happens. Here is what is being written in that gaze. In real time, something was wrong, and then it was not. I sent a signal, and it was answered. The world broke, and then it was repaired. That sequence, repeated hundreds of times across the first years of life, becomes the deepest expectation your child will carry into every relationship they will ever have. And the researchers were clear on one point above all others. It is not built by a parent who never causes distress. That parent does not exist. It is built by a parent who comes back. The repair is the point. And the gaze after the storm, that is the exact moment the repair gets written permanently into the architecture of a developing mind. So the next time your baby goes still and looks at you, really looks, understand what you are actually watching. In the first weeks, a brain mapping you before it could even see you, guided by nothing but heartbeat and warmth and the sound you make when you speak. In the second month, a mind beginning to decode the grammar of your face, with more focus than most adults will ever give to anything. In the months after that, a nervous system running silent checks on you, calibrating safety against the smallest shift in your expression. And in the quiet, after the hard moments, an attachment system writing its core finding, the one conclusion that matters more than any other. Do the people I depend on come back? None of this asks for perfection. The research does not ask for perfection. It asks for presence, consistent, not flawless, attentive, not anxious. The environment your baby's brain arrived expecting to find, which is exactly what you already are. You have been that since the very first second their eyes opened. That is more than enough. If your baby has ever looked at you in a way you could not quite name, write it down below. What was happening? What did it feel like from your side of that gaze? Somewhere out there, at 2 in the morning, another parent is reading these comments, wondering if any of this quiet and visible work actually counts. Tell them it does. And next time, we go further. What happens inside a baby's brain in the first 10 seconds after a parent walks back into the room? That window may be the most important moment in parenting that nobody has ever told you about.